So 99% of all Supreme Court cases, 99% are simply thrown in the dumpster. The United States Supreme Court, in direct violation of the United States Constitution, simply throws in the wastebasket 99% of all the people's cases, all the people who spend the money and take the time to file appeals and certioraries to the U.S. Supreme Court simply get their cases thrown in the dumpster. How the 1% of the cases that do get dealt with, how those are selected is 100% political. Those cases that do get heard are the cases that the Supreme Court justices desire to hear. In other words, you got 9 justices and their clerks, and they hand-pick the cases that they're going to consider. While thousands upon tens of thousands upon hundreds of thousands of American people and companies simply get their cases thrown in the wastebasket. Now, if that's not a racket, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what in the hell is. But I want to shift gears here for a second and go on out to the Burns Airport in Burns, Oregon yesterday when the Hammonds were returning from their horribly wrong and horribly unlawful incarceration for legitimately setting a backfire to try to protect their ranch. In other words, using fire for range management and using fire to stop forest fires from progressing is a legitimate practice amongst foresters. I've been on crews maintaining backfires. But in any event, let's go to the traffic that was stopped by the mysterious contractor who was stopping all the traffic from getting to the Burns Airport. They stopped the Hammonds family. The Hammonds family sat in the traffic jam for 45 minutes. Now I'm thinking old Steve Grassley and Sheriff Ward really need to explain what construction project, what road work was going on, and who the hell that contractor worked for. Because that was chicken shit, Sheriff Ward. Whoever arranged for that contractor to stop all the traffic going out to the Burns Airport, we need to get to the bottom of that one. Alright, now let's move along here to Scott Bennett, the Booz Allen attorney there, that claims that a large amount of money missing from the Pentagon, over $2.3 trillion, was used for dirty tricks. Apparently the $2.3 trillion missing from the Pentagon budget was the dirty tricks slush fund. The $2.3 missing trillion were slushy funds so that the Department of Defense could engage in off-the-shelf, no oversight, do whatever they want to dirty tricks, including acts of terror and acts of espionage and such in other countries. So to Scott Bennett, I think maybe I'll give a tip of the hat, because I know one thing for sure, and I want this going to the Hammonds and to the Bundys and to the Finnecums. The FBI tried to burn my home down east of Conroe, Texas. It was about 2:45 in the morning when they used that Waco FLIR plane, the Britain Defender, in a helicopter, and they dumped white phosphorus flares all over my home. Now, just a couple of hours later, I was in a packed courtroom. That courtroom was packed. Judge Alan Barb Sadler was up on the bench, And we were in the Montgomery County Commissioner's Court where I confronted the sheriff at that time, Guy Williams, in front of everybody in that courtroom about the helicopter and the plane that dumped the white phosphorus flares all over my home out on FM 1314 halfway between Conroe and Porter. 2:45 in the morning they decide to come by and dump a bunch of white phosphorus illumination flares, flares all over my house. Now, do the federal government dirty tricksters engage in arson? And the answer is, yeah, they do actually. Now, all the reasons that they wanted to burn my home down, there's probably a list of them. Judge Lynn Hughes, Senior Federal District Judge Lynn Hughes. He knows me. And a lot of people around Houston and a lot of people around Montgomery County know exactly who I am. I'm the guy that exposed all their real estate swindling and scheming. I'm the guy that exposed the savings and loan scandal. Yep, that's right. I'm the guy that exposed all those dirty little bankers all around Houston, Texas, that were robbing the banking system in the corruption problem. The National Review this month actually, has got an article that Texas has a corruption problem. What do you think about that, Judge Alan Sadler? Texas has a corruption problem. Imagine that. But, ladies and gentlemen, the nation's been robbed for so much money, it's staggering. Scott Bennett. My old buddy Scott Bennett. And trillions, all connected to Whitewater and Castle Grande style real estate schemes and scams. Like the Ghost, Wildcat, Phantom, toxic zombie land developments of Jeb Bush, Neil Bush, Charlie Keating, and the Clintons, and all the Clintons' pals, and huge numbers of people all over Texas. All over Texas,